Welcome back to the Explainer. Okay, let's dive into this. We all know that totally chaotic feeling of a rushed morning, right? You're stumbling around with literal zombie brain, just grabbing whatever sad prepackaged thing is closest to the door. Well, today we're looking at a super practical, really relatable piece of writing from a creator named Ang who decided to completely re-engineer that exact process. In a recent entry from their Notes on Dieting series, Ang breaks down the meticulous step-by-step process of tweaking that absolutely crucial first meal of the day. We're talking about refining breakfast, not just for health, but to actually fit a budget, to work with whatever random ingredients are sitting in your pantry, and to cleverly accommodate shifting sleep schedules. It's a fantastic breakdown of how small, realistic dietary tweaks actually work in the real world. But before we get into the exact recipe, I want to ask you a question honestly. Why do we eat what we eat? Seriously, think about your own daily diet for a second. Is your morning routine driven by deliberate, conscious choices? Or is it driven by pure, unfiltered convenience? It's a tough question, right? Because today, we're going on a bit of a journey together. We're going to start with a seemingly simple breakfast bowl of oats, but by the end of this explainer, we'll unpack a major lifestyle philosophy about exactly how our health habits are formed. So, here's our starting point. Ang introduces us to their current go-to morning meal, overnight oats. But, this isn't just some random recipe pulled off a Pinterest board. Ang frames this specific bowl as a reliable, nutrient-dense first meal of the day. It's really a calculated anchor. Think about it. When your sleep schedule is all over the place, or when your grocery budget gets a little tight, this bowl of oats remains a constant. It's designed to be highly adaptable and totally dependable, completely taking the guesswork out of your morning routine right when your brain is just waking up and, let's be real, super vulnerable to bad choices. But there's a very strict baseline rule here. Ang is absolutely adamant about this. You must use rolled oats. Do not reach for those instant or quick oats. According to Ang, those instant varieties are basically just porridge. They totally lack the texture and the structural integrity that makes overnight oats so satisfying. The rolled oats provide that sturdy, chewy base that can actually hold up to soaking overnight without turning into this sad, mushy paste. It's a small detail, sure, but it is literally the physical foundation of the entire meal. Let's move on and see how this builds layer by layer. Step 1 is taking those rolled oats and soaking them in a base of low-fat milk combined with plain yogurt. That gives you creaminess and a really nice bit of tang. Step 2 brings in the crunch and the healthy fats, a mix of chia, pumpkin, and almond seeds just scattered right on top. And finally, step 3, the sweetener. Instead of dumping refined sugar or maple syrup all over the bowl, Ang uses a clever natural substitute, raisins. They plump up overnight in the milk and release just enough natural sweetness to balance out the tang of the yogurt perfectly. Now, depending on your appetite or what kind of seriously demanding day you have ahead of you, sometimes a bowl of oats just isn't quite enough to fill the tank. Ng notes that this core recipe is totally modular. You can easily round out this first meal with a couple of optional additions. You might add a single egg on the side for some quick, satiating protein. Or maybe 1 or 2 slices of whole wheat bread if you need some extra sustained carbohydrates to really power through a long physical morning. It's all about adjusting to what your body specifically needs on any given day. Now, what's really interesting here is the concept behind this number. 400 to 500. Ang openly admits to not being incredibly strict about counting calories. Like there's no obsessive weighing of every single pumpkin seed on a kitchen scale. However, keeping this rough guesstimate of 400 to 500 calories in mind acts as a highly practical guardrail. It's a mental checkpoint for portion control. By knowing the ballpark energy value of the standard bowl, you actively prevent the meal from accidentally turning into a heavy 800-calorie dessert, keeping it squarely in the realm of a healthy, balanced breakfast. And if you want to take that base bowl even further, Ang provides a simple cheat sheet of highly accessible ingredient upgrades. You can easily boost the macronutritional profile of the bowl based entirely on your personal fitness or health goals. Need more healthy fats and a richer flavor? Just stir in a spoonful of almond or peanut butter. Looking to hit a higher daily protein target? A scoop of protein powder mixes right in. Want to increase your fiber intake for better digestion? Toss in some fresh berries or grated apples. This perfectly illustrates how a single, simple base recipe can be modified to serve almost any nutritional need. So the crucial point is the bigger picture. We're zooming out from the recipe itself to the overarching philosophy Ang is exploring in these notes. The core trap we basically all fall into is this. Unhealthy diets are shaped by the convenience of fast food, not by a deliberate effort. Most people don't actively wake up and decide, hey, I want to sabotage my physical health today. Instead,
bad eating habits are formed simply because junk food is incredibly easy to access and requires zero preparation. When convenience dictates our diet, genuine nutrition immediately takes a backseat.
And this brilliantly illustrates the exact antidote to that convenience trap. Take a moment to really let this thought from Aang sink in. Switching up your diet does not mean you need to make drastic overhauls. Instead, it is about swapping less ideal ingredients for healthier choices one by one. This is the real aha moment of our explainer today. This right here is the ultimate escape route from those intimidating, highly restrictive, and ultimately totally unsustainable diet overhauls we see absolutely everywhere online. You don't have to change everything you eat overnight. You just have to make one slightly better choice, swap one ingredient at a time, and let those tiny victories compound over the weeks and months.
Which brings us to the end of today's explainer, and I want to leave you with a direct challenge based on Aang's incredibly practical philosophy. What small ingredient swap can you make in your routine tomorrow morning? Maybe it's swapping out the sugary coffee syrup for raisins in your oats. Maybe it's choosing sturdy rolled oats over the instant mush. Don't try to fix your entire life by breakfast. Just pick one single thing, make that conscious swap, and see how this powerful, incremental approach changes the way you look at your daily habits. Thanks for learning with me today on The Explainer, and I'll catch you on the next one.